So one of the first mods I've done to this bike was to try and make the handlebars, like the whole thing, the whole bike, narrower than what it was, because of trying to get through traffic. So what I did is I cut off the little, on this side I actually moved everything in, drilled a little hole so this relocated fine, so I don't want that spinning around. On that side I just cut the little lug off completely, moved everything in, and then basically moved this into a more ergonomic position. So basically when I'm going through traffic, my thumb can find the button really easy. I can't remember exactly where it was before, but it's now in a more ergonomic position for me to actually reach the horn, which I like. The original mirrors, by the way, are really good mirrors. I can't say anything bad about them. They give a really good rear view, whereas these ones don't so much. The reason I put these mirrors on there as opposed to the originals, because they're lower. This distance here is lower, so basically I can get this under a van mirror quite easy, whereas the other ones stick up higher and also stick out further, which is not a bad thing. These don't give a rear view image as good as the original mirrors, even though they might look a bit good, a bit more funkier. So these are the bar ends. So the original bar ends actually screw in, and then the rubber comes out a little bit, and then you've got the bar end. So I've moved them in so it's actually level with the bar. So the next shot, I'm just going to put some thread lock on and screw them in. Right, so this is one of the mods I've done to my new bike, and it's basically the handlebar end weights. Now the handlebars on my bike, I've tried to make them as narrow as possible because obviously I'm going through London traffic every day. So I've managed to move everything in a little bit, but I noticed that these bar end weights stick out quite a long way, and also they're quite heavy. So what I decided to do was cut them down. So that's what they used to look like. So I just zipped through them with a cutting disc, and then I just dressed, you can see that, I just dressed them on the side of a grinder, and you just spray them. I put them in last week, I just screwed them in. They stayed screwed in all week, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put some thread lock on there and then just screw them back in, and it's job done. Right, so that's what they look like on. A lot neater than there you go, a lot neater than the great big bulbous ends that was sticking up. I actually rode the white bike for a week without any bar ends at all, and I did notice how the bike was much more flickable. It was really much more manoeuvrable through the traffic, and there was no stability issues. There was no vibration coming through the bars. It was all fine. And then I'll put the bar ends back in again for another couple of days, the full weighted ones, and I noticed the steering was slowed down quite a bit. The idea of the bar ends is basically, so if you get hit, say you get the tire gets hit on one side and it pushes the steering out, it will, because of the weight here, it will try and pull the handlebar back into the right position. It's also to take out vibration. So I thought halfway house between the two. Obviously cut that great big bulbous end off. So basically that rubber there, that edge used to finish out here somewhere. So I've moved them in about ½ an inch, and then obviously the end as well, which is about another 1.25 inches, I'd reckon. It also means my hand in further. So this little bit sticking out the end makes no difference, but it's make sure my hand and the mirror is out of the way of hitting things as I go through the traffic. So yeah, so I done a week with these screwed in last week, just finger tight. They didn't loosen off at all, which was quite surprised about. And I noticed the bike was again nice and flickable, but without being too light, if that makes sense. So it's a good, I think it's a good halfway house between the full bar end and no bar end. So it's more like slightly less than the bar end, but it's worked out a treat.